Will the New York Jets actually make a signing today? Potentially, it could come live on the show. Tonight, we are joined by Gunny Gumby, fellow Jets content creator from New York Jets Situation Report, to break down the latest free agency news and the latest free agency rumors. All coming up here right on this Tuesday evening.
J-E-T-S, Jets, let's go.
Jets wide receiver Wesley Walker. Wesley, how you doing today?
ESPN writer, Mr. Rich Samini, Jets reporter for The Athletic, Mr. Zach Rosenblatt, Hall of Famer, and Jets legend, Mr. Marty Lyons.
Your host, Connor Law.
What is going on, everyone? Hello and welcome back here into another edition of NY Flight Jets Talk on this Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Make sure you smash the like button. You are subscribed to the channel on your way into the building. It's completely free and it helps us grow significantly here on the program. That's the free way to help us grow. The paid way just as much. Get into our membership raffle. Every membership gifted or every $2.99 super chat will get you an entry into our March membership raffle. Prizes we're giving away include a Wayne Corbett signed jersey, a Darrelle Revis signed photo, an Altoon signed photo, a Keyshawn Johnson signed photo, a Jericho Cotchery signed photo, a free item from our merch store, and a channel emoji. So getting on that if you haven't already. Prizes and leaderboard on the ticker down below. Can't thank you guys enough for all your support. Like I said, here on the program, but joining us right now, fellow Jets content creator, Mr. Gunny Gumby from New York Jets Situation Report. Gunny, we can't see you.
That's weird. Can you hear me?
We got you loud and clear, Gunny, but we can't see you. We can't see you. How you doing though?
I'm doing good. Let me go ahead and then figure this out in the background while I converse with you. Yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. Right now, as we know, the New York Jets have been making some moves in free agency. I think it's stuff for us to be excited about. Some of us might be a little salty or upset about it. I know there seems to be a consensus of individuals who feel one way or another. So yeah, fun to talk about it. In fact, would you mind if I just jump off and then come back in? I think I'm frozen.
Gunny.
Let me do that real quick.
Go fix it. Yeah, Gunny. Gunny's camera was out there for a minute, so we'll go back to him. He'll join back in a minute or two. So appreciate you all sticking with us. Appreciate all your transparency. Kind of sum up today. We had two shows earlier. First show we were joined by James Woody and Rich Samini. Second show we were joined by Antoine Staley. Now we're back. Look, Jets have not made a signing yet today, so hey, maybe it could happen on air for the first time in forever. An on-air signing. It almost happened this Sunday. The Jets signed Jamie Sherwood like 3 minutes before they extended Jamie Sherwood rather like 3 minutes before the Next Gen Jets show. Jack, Chris, and I went on Sunday night. So hey, maybe the Jets could do it tonight. That would be a blessing, ain't it? That would be a blessing because no matter if they sign someone tonight, we're going back on. So might as well come on air. Bottom line, the Jets, yesterday's grade when it came to Jets free agency, I was vocal on it. I thought they had a really, really solid day. They got their quarterback. They addressed the quarterback position with Justin Fields, giving him the 2-year, $40 million deal with $30 million guaranteed. They tendered Tony Adams. They signed Andre Sisco to a 1-year, $10 million contract, a soon-to-be 25-year-old ball-hawking safety who's a Long Island native. They also signed Brandon Stevens, a move that's viewed as controversial. But if I trust one team, this is what I've been saying. I don't have a strong I'm trending towards the direction of not like it. I don't like him. Among the signings the Jets have made, he's my least favorite. I'm just not going to go out and make any crazy opinions against him because first, I don't know too much about him. And second, if I trust one coaching staff, one regime to sign a cornerback, it is this regime. It is this coaching staff with Steve Wilkes, Chris Harris, Dre Bly, and Aaron Glenn. So I feel the most comfortable when it comes with this coaching staff when it comes to trying to select find talent in a safety or a cornerback. You got any questions? You got any questions? Throw them in the chat. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, call into the show if you'd like to. Pin comment at the top of the chat. Gunny Gumby is joining us here in his weekly spot, but he is going through some technical difficulties. He is fixing his camera, so he will join back. He will join back here shortly. And it looks like we do have him back. Gunny, we can see you now.
All right, that was weird,
there
man.
We go.
Yeah, so Google Chrome had to do an update, so it froze my bad.
Good. You're good.
But I'm back.
You're good, Gunny. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier, man, in regards to just The free agency's here. I mean, I think it's going a little bit faster than I think the majority of us kind of envisioned. I felt like it started and it was already over, just based off of any kind of real impact names kind of coming off of the board. But yeah, now the Jets made some moves. I think we're going to talk about that tonight. And yeah, man, happy to be here as always, brother.
We got to start with the quarterback position, Gunny. Justin Fields, a polarizing name for a lot of Jet fans. A lot of people like him, the upside factor. I was in that boat, and then a lot of people didn't like him because of his overall arm strength. Initial thoughts on this signing?
Yeah, listen, I think it's a low risk, high reward signing, right? You're paying the guy in essence $15 million a year guaranteed over the next 2 years. I think that averages out to be the 21st or 22nd highest paid quarterback in the NFL. You take a chance with a kid that's 26 years old who's shown, you know what I'm saying, a level of progression every single year he's been in the league when it comes to his passing game. And we know he brings an elite trait to the game in terms of his scramble ability, right? His legs. This is one of those guys that can go ahead and really hurt you with your legs. And he's gotten better, again, passing the ball every single year. You also pair him up again with guys like Ruckert and guys like freaking Garrett Wilson. Maybe that can spark a little something into him. I think if anybody was expecting him to kind of come in and be the second coming of Tom Brady or Drew Brees when he made his move or anything like that, I think you're going to be disappointed. I don't know if that's Justin Fields' ceiling, but I wouldn't be so appalled if he figured out football, right? And he winds up being a starting level quarterback in the NFL level. But for me, if I'm being honest with you, I think of all the options we had available to us, you know, after we released Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields gave you the most excitement in terms of what can be, because you've seen him take baby steps throughout his career. So what if he takes another major step this year? What could be, right? Again, 26 years old. He brings in an elite trait when it comes to scrambling in his legs. And he's, again, improved every single year in terms of his passing ability. So I'm a fan of this pickup. A lot of individual Jets fans seem to be on the edge about it, but personally, I'm a fan. At the very least, we're going to have some fun football, or at least interesting football to watch this season, what it can do with him as a weapon behind center.
With the Jets extending Jamie and Sherwood, Gunny, they retain one of their homegrown pieces. Talk about a day 3 pick, a 5th-round selection for Joe Douglas, who was a safety in college, transitioned over to the linebacker position. Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji made it clear at the Combine they were going to do their best to retain solid young football players, and that's what they did by extending Jamie and Sherwood to a 3-year, $30 million deal, $30 million guaranteed, worth up to $40 million, excuse me, with incentives. I view this deal as a very, very, very solid deal for Darren Muji. They come in, they extend someone who finished 4th in the league in solo tackles last year, who's 25 years old, who is just overall a really, really solid linebacker, and they retained a good football player by extending Jamie and Sherwood in my eyes.
Yeah, no, 100%. Good football player, right? I think when you look at the contract, it speaks to them wanting to go ahead and make sure they show value to some homegrown talent. It's something that the Jets don't seem to do when they should be doing it at the right time, but kind of like incentivizing some of this new regime to realize, like, hey, guys, if you work hard, if you do what we ask of you, we're going to go ahead and reward you. So it's a good stepping stone in terms of making sure that the guys like Garrett Wilson and the Sauce Gardners and the JJs, they kind of see like, okay, we do our jobs here, we're going to get rewarded with this regime. Now, I will say that I think maybe it was a bit of an overpay to keep Sherwood in the building, predominantly because, you know, he's not really proven to be a thumper. He's going to be a guy that can go ahead and really help the defense sideline to sideline. He can go ahead and attack off the edge as well if need be. Like, I like the fact that he is a guy you can also see as a coverage linebacker. However, traditional middle linebacker, I don't think he really brings that like I want to knock your head off type of mentality. So I thought
that's Quincy
maybe
Williams.
Yeah. So I felt like maybe, you know, a bit of an overpay per se, but nevertheless, he's homegrown. And of course, he complements Quincy pretty well as well. So we've got two good linebackers back there in this defense. And again, let's see what Aaron Glenn, you know what I'm saying, and Wilkes can go ahead and do with these kind of athletes in the defense side of the football.
For sure. And Gunny, are there any free agents you're looking for who are impending free agents for the Jets, guys who haven't been picked up yet, whether it's a Brandon Eccles type guy, a Tyler Conklin? Tyler Conklin is another name who's been talked about potentially coming back. Are you looking at any of the impending free agents who are on the Jets roster this past season and they intrigue you? You try to bring them back on some sort of maybe team-friendly type deal?
Yeah, both of those guys you just mentioned are definitively on my radar, right? I know we picked up the kid Brandon
Stevens, yeah.
Stevens, right? And again, looking at his I guess his track record, I wouldn't say he's a splash signing for the cornerback position.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a heck of a step up. I think Brandon Echols has shown us more with his time as a Jet in limited opportunities, obviously, but shown us more of being more of a complimentary number two to Sauce Gardner if given the chance. So I would prefer Brandon Echols be retained. I get it, man. Stevens is coming in. He's going to be a guy that's going to help in the run stopping. I think he's a really, really short tackler. That's a really, really good thing. But for me, I just think at this point, it's about, again, keeping our own, right? If we can keep our own guys, then I think that's going to go a long way. Personally, I think Brandon Echols, keeping him is going to go a long way to making sure that cornerback room is kind of like tight. Again, I'm not too confident in Brandon when it comes to his coverage skills, although I do believe he's an asset when it comes to the running game. And I love Tyler Conklin. Listen, I've been banging on down this hill. I think Tyler Conklin can be a top 10 tight end in the NFL given the opportunity. The guy is a team player, you know what I'm saying? He plays hard. He's got good hands, you know what I'm saying? He runs some good routes. He's a winning blocker. I think everything about Tyler Conklin, I'm not saying he does anything at an elite level, but he does a lot of things really, really good. And at the NFL level, sometimes that's what you need. Good ball, like you said, good ball players. So if we can bring Tyler Conklin in again on a team-friendly deal, I'm 100% on board. Those are two guys definitively I am looking at right now to see if the Jets make a move and keeping them in the building.
Gunny, your camera is frozen again. We can hear you, but your camera's frozen. It's all right. It's okay. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, you're just frozen as of now.
Okay.
I just want to let you know that. But I agree with every single thing you said there. You mentioned Brandon Stevens coming off a down season, with the Ravens, former third-round pick. What I was saying when you had to leave and rejoin was, again, this is probably among the signings the Jets have made. This is probably my least favorite signing. However, if it comes to one coaching staff in this league, who do I trust to find and identify talent in a defensive back? It is this coaching staff with Steve Wilkes, with Aaron Glenn, with Dre Bly, with Chris Harris. I have the utmost confidence in this coaching staff to go out and try to find talent in a cornerback, in a safety. So, like I said, while it isn't my favorite, I'm still going to put faith into Aaron Glenn and to Steve Wilkes that they found talent at the cornerback position. Here's my thing. If you're going to do that, I would have rather just if you want to pay someone coming off a down year, 3 years, $36 million, I would have rather just tried my best to retain Brandon Echols at a 2-year, $8 million type rate. Someone who, when he's gotten an opportunity to play, he's shown some starter material. So I would have been all for I would have been all for bringing back Brandon Echols, but now it appears, now that he's on the open market, it appears he will walk to another team. As for Tyler Conklin, I spoke to Rich Samini on the show earlier today. He said there's apparently still mutual interest between the Jets and Conklin, but he ultimately thinks Conklin is going to test the open market. Before we move on, I just want to make sure we have you here.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm trying to fix the camera.
You're good. You're good. A signing we haven't gotten into yet was the Jets signing safety Andre Sisco from the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 year, $10 million contract. Long Island native. The Jets need a lot of safety depth. Andre Sisco, someone who's going to be 25 years old in a week or two, someone who had 4 interceptions last season, great in coverage. Didn't have coming off a down 2024 year, but a stout 2023 season. We got you back, Gunny, with the camera. How do you feel about this Andre Sisco signing, and what does his role look like on the team?
No, actually, man, the Andre Sisco signing is another one that I was really excited about, right? This is a guy who you see can be that kind of a ball hawk safety. I know a lot of individuals our safety room is depleted. Let's be honest. It's pretty much depleted, but this is another one of those, again, low risk, high reward kind of hiring. So this is the guy who looks for the football and goes for it, right? Again, he's 25 years old. So this isn't a kid who's, he's up there, who's on the back end of his career. He still has a lot to prove, and he's still hungry, and he's coming from a team that coaches up defense extremely well. So I saw that opportunity and thought to myself, yeah, I can see this being a huge benefit for the Jets, having a ball hawk kind of safety back there. You've got the coverage guys and Sauce Gardner. So you're saying that Brandon Echols is not coming back? That's solidified, or that's what you're hearing?
No, that's my guess. That's not sourced or anything. I just, now that he's on the open market, I think someone is going to try to pay him like a starter, and I think it's a mistake for the Jets to pay this guy Stevens $12 million a year, because I think that puts him in more of a financial hole, and I don't think they're going to want to pay 2 cornerbacks starter type money.
Yeah, no, 100%. The Stevens signing to me didn't make a lot of sense when you had Echols in the building. I feel like Eccles has proven, again, limited time, right? You got a guy like Stevens who's started more games, and I get that, but I just feel like Eccles just every time he was out there, he was making plays, whether it was turnovers, whether it was freaking coverage play, like he was making plays. So I would have liked to have seen him get a deal alongside of a Sauce Gardner, see what he can do being signed to that cornerback 2 role. So I mean, if you're right, he is probably going to get starter level money, but I think we might have missed out if he winds up leaving and we went Stevens, and especially if it's like the same contract, something tells me that Eccles is going to go ahead and outplay that contract more so than Stevens can.
Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Gunny and Connor here with you. Tuesday edition of NY Flight Jets Talk. Any questions for Gunny and I, throw them in the chat. If you want to call in, you could do so with the pinned comment at the top of the chat. Every gifted membership, every $2.99 super chat will get you a ticket into our membership raffle. Brian Glick comes in with a $10 super chat. Hit it,
Here's what
AG.
I do know. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Damn straight, Brian. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat on the program. I appreciate your support here on the show. As always, I would 100% extend Connor Long as a Jets reporter. Well, Brian, appreciate you tuning in on the show, and I appreciate all your support. As always, that'll get you into our raffle for a few raffle tickets. Brian, you're the best. Can't thank you enough for tuning in. Here on the show, John B comes in to sign Quan Alexander. Sleeper signing, bring in depth. Gunny, I don't know if Quan would be interested in a Jets reunion, but talk about someone who plays, with someone who plays is going to just rip your head off, a heavy hitting linebacker. That's who Quan Alexander is. I just remember watching that Steelers game in 2022 where like Zach Wilson actually put together a solid game. I think Corey Davis caught a touchdown pass or something, and Quan Alexander was just ripping people's heads off. I would be interested in that. I just don't know how interested he is in returning to this team.
Yeah, again, Quan was one of those guys where, again, he plays with violence, man. He just plays 100% with violence, and you want to see that in your linebacker specifically. It wouldn't shock me. I don't think it's out of the question because, again, new regime, right? I understand his time with the Jets might not have been what he expected it to be, but you're now playing for a guy who's played at the NFL level. Aaron Glenn is respected amongst players. Steve Wilkes is respected amongst players and beloved as well. So there's more of a regime of individual coaches there that I think he can see himself going there where they can utilize his talent to its fullest. So I wouldn't put it out of the question. And I, too, John, would love the signing of Quan Alexander. I'm a fan of Quan. I kind of hated that he, the way things kind of ended with him as a Jet. But again, this is a guy. This is a big hitter. This is a guy who's looking to hit you and to put you in the morgue. So I think Quan finished his past season on Lions practice squad. He was elevated for games he performed much better in the game than. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, David's one of our Lions fans here. Yeah.
Okay, David. All right, cool. I was like, I didn't even catch that. So yeah, I would love to see Quan on the Jets, and there's a connection right there where it would make sense as well, right? That he could potentially find his way onto this defense with Aaron Glenn. So. Yeah, I'm in agreement. If we can go ahead and find a way to go ahead and make it make sense for the team, you bring in a guy like Quan, and I think that would secure the linebacker room a little bit more. And then you can start focusing again more so on offense when it comes to this draft.
Before we get any further with your questions in the chat, Jeffrey R asked for it. He gets it, baby. 20 gifted memberships from Jeffrey R, and he requests a soundbite. He gets it.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Yes, sir, Rex. And Jeffrey, I know you love this one.
Can't wait.
Damn right, Bart. 20 names to read from Jeffrey R. Thank you so much for all your support here on the program. John, Christian Thompson, King Lowski, York Pinnock, Nakara, the Meadowland Swamp Thing, New York Jets Situation Report. I'm a New York Jets New York Jets super fan. I got your channel mixed up.
I was like, oh, snap. Okay. Appreciate the hookup.
Smoke Champs, Shadow Realm, Jeffrey, Matt, Miguel Padilla, Clancy, Mr. McMoney, Tony Crack, Ed Vargas, Dave from New Brunswick, Denny Baboon, Drive Away Cam, Jared B. You were all members thanks to Jeffrey R. Jeffrey, that is 20 more raffle tickets for you. Up to now 120 gifted memberships for you on this month. Thank you so much for all your support here on the program. As always, it really goes a long way, Jeffrey. Awesome. You are the best. Appreciate it. As always, like I said, keep the questions coming. We'll get to those. Calling to the show. Pin comment at the top of the chat. Brian comes back in, says, New York Jets 2025 free agents start filling holes. Right tackle, tight end, DT are next. Maybe another safety. Gunny,
I could see that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was kind of surprised to see Morgan Moses leave the building, and then to make it worse, to go to the Patriots, that one hurt quite a bit. But it is what it is. I think that right tackle is specifically a need, but they could also address that, I would say, in the draft. a lot of guys right now in the draft in terms of offensive linemen who play at the tackle position are going to be relegated to like guard. So some of those guys you can go ahead and push out to right tackle. I know I'm hearing things about, well, now we know Elijah Vera can play right tackle, push him out to right tackle and just bring in the guard. I don't want to mess with the core of the line the way it is right now. I think everybody's at their current position. If you can bring in a free agent right tackle that can go ahead and give you, some game this year, maybe he's not going to be the best. The good news is Justin Fields is a very, very mobile quarterback, so he's going to be able to avoid some sacks, especially when it's coming like right in front of him. It's not from his blind side. So I think right tackle, you can go ahead and bring in, somebody who's been in the league, played the position, but I think you need to focus on potentially shoring that up in the draft this year. Tight end, again, I'm going back to freaking Tyler Conklin. I think that if you can bring Tyler Conklin in, I'm also a huge fan of Tyler Warren in the draft. If it happens to go that route, I don't know if I'd pick him as high as 7, but a lot of mock drafts have him coming to us at 7. Again, I think you need to put pieces on the offensive side of the ball for next season's franchise QB draft. So I kind of want to get the core group of weapons that he might have for next year on the roster now. Now, if Justin Fields blows us away and he winds up being him, like he has a Baker Mayfield type of resurgence, good. He's still going to need weapons as well. So you bring in a tight end can only help out a guy like freaking Justin Fields. So for me, I'm 100% on board with needing a tight end and a right tackle. Defensive tackle, I mean, I think that is really going to be based off of what kind of defense we're running. But for me, definitively, I think I froze again too, man. Something's going on with freaking Chrome. But for me, definitively, it boils down to a big fatty. I need somebody who can go ahead and plug up the hole and stop the run. You got guys like Quinnen Williams who can go ahead and, be effective in the run game, but also get after the quarterback and create pressure. We need a big fatty, man. Somebody who's just going to plug up that hole and go ahead and pretty much be an impact in the run game. The run defense has been so lackluster the last couple of years, several years now, that if we need a big guy to go ahead and help us slow down the running game against the opponents, because it's gutted us, it's slashed us. Teams like the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins have used their running game against us very effectively and efficiently for the last couple of years. We've got to find ways to slow those guys down. So, yeah, defensive tackle is definitively on the board. I just don't know if there's a name out there right now in free agency that's really popping out. That's going to be a part of this process. But I think in this draft, there's going to be a couple of names that can go ahead and potentially come in and help us out in the run game.
Billy comes in. Jets can't lose here with Fields. It's a rebuild year anyways. They're paying him backup money. If he clicks, you have your QB going forward. If he doesn't fit, you draft a QB in 2026. No lose situation. This is pretty much, Gunny, what you said earlier in the sense of it's a low-risk, high-reward type move. I would rather take a gamble on 26-year-old Justin Fields than sign Marcus Mariota or Carson Wentz, who you know what their floor is, you know what their ceiling is. There's still that unknown with Justin Fields. So, hey, now, maybe he starts 5 games and you start 1-4 and he looks like crap. Then you have Tyrod, who is a perfect stopgap starter, who then you can have come in. So you're not going to the Super Bowl with this team anyways. You might as well take the low risk, high reward, high upside type swing.
100%. I think that's the big key word there, right? Is that this team that we thought was one piece away when we brought in Aaron Rodgers obviously wasn't the case. Yep. We were not one piece away. This team has holes. And I think it's going to require work, man. It's going to require us putting in the work. It's going to require us having to struggle a little bit. Now, again, Justin Fields can come out this season and all of a sudden it all clicks, right? Everything is wired right. And he shows us he's a franchise guy. I still don't think we're going to the Super Bowl. I still don't think this team is got everything they need to go ahead and be a Super Bowl contender. Can we go ahead and break the playoff drought, sneak into the wild card? Maybe. Very plausible. But I don't feel like there's a scenario in which Justin Fields coming into the building is a lose scenario. I think, one, either we take a swing at a guy who has some upside because, again, he does bring you an elite trait. If you can bring an elite trait to the game, I think it's worth noting that a QB position – at the QB position, he's an elite scrambler. He does bring that to the game. So you can do some things with that. Open up the passing game for some guys. Open up the running game for our running backs too. So I don't know if he's going to be the franchise guy. But, again, it's like you just said, it's a rebuild year anyway. We're trying to go ahead and put some key pieces together so we can make some serious runs down the road. And if Justin Fields comes out here and breaks the playoff drought for us, great. If Justin Fields come out here and he wins his 3 games, we're that much closer to getting our franchise guy next year. So I'm looking at it like that. life of a Jets fan, man. Like we went from the highs of being Super Bowl contenders, a year ago to this. So I'm just accepting the reality of where we're at right now.
For sure. 2 questions here before we wrap up. And if the Jets make any signings tonight, which I view highly unlikely at this point, even if they do, though, we'll be back on. Get you covered. 2 more questions here before we wrap up the show. Jack Talks Jets comes in. Says, you think Jordan Travis will be able to suit up by September due to the rumors of the rushed rehab? Jack, I think he'll be able to suit up by training camp. The question is, will he be on this team, Gunny, comes training camp?
Yeah, I'm starting to have my doubts he even makes this roster come training camp. The things that you're just hearing right now, it's not positive in terms of Jordan Travis. Again, this regime has no loyalty to him. They didn't bring him into the building. You don't know what their thought process is and how this kid can see the game or play the game at the NFL level. I think it sucks that he was able to go ahead and kind of take a bit of a step back in his rehabilitation process. So again, he's now missing opportunities to get some stuff on tape at practice so the coaching staff can properly evaluate him. So I just don't know come training camp he's on the team, because you're talking about OTAs, voluntary OTAs. Is he going to be ready to go ahead and show him something? OTA, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the questions you got to have to ask yourself. And from all the stuff we're hearing, it doesn't sound likely that they're going to go ahead and hold on to him come training camp.
One more question here before we wrap up the show. Chat up. Our guy Caden comes in, says, you think they trade for Olave? Now, Gunny, this is a topic that's been floating around since the whole Ohio State connection between Fields, Olave, Garrett. At the right price, yes. I'm just not giving up a premium second-round pick for someone who hasn't been able to stay healthy, someone who's been concussed several times. I'm just not doing it.
If you tell me it's going to cost us a 4th rounder to bring in freaking Olave, do it. I'm willing to give up a 4th rounder for a guy like Olave. Again, this is the guy when he's on the field, he's going to cause damage. He's a burner as well, somebody who can stretch the field. And again, he's got rapport with Garrett Wilson and rapport with freaking, Justin Fields. I'm with you. I'm not trading a premium asset for him. I think a 4th is the highest I'd be willing to go. If you can get him for cheaper than that, even better. But yeah, I think a guy like Chris Olave can go ahead and come into this building and contribute if he can stay on the field. Staying on the field is going to be a big problem for him. He reminds me a little bit of Percy Harvin, where like whenever he was on the field, bro, like the dude was going to make plays. He was a baller, dog. But then he'd get concussed and be out for like, 3-4 months. Like it's hit or miss. Concussions are very finicky. So yeah, for me, I think that 4th rounder would be my absolute highest I'd be willing to pay. But yeah, I would not be opposed to bringing in a guy like Chris Olave.
Appreciate you all tuning in here on this Tuesday evening. Going to wrap up this quick show here with Gunny. Third show of the day. So a ton of content for you guys today. Any signings the Jets make, I'll be back. I have a half day tomorrow because I'm taking a PSAT. So any signings after 10:30, we will be on live reacting. And then tomorrow, no matter what happens, we're live at 8 p.m. EST with Matt O'Leary in his weekly spot. So a lot of content to look forward to, and hopefully the Jets make some moves upcoming here. Gunny, I appreciate you hopping on as always, and I'm going to throw the link. Plug your show tonight, plug who you're having on, and I'm going to throw it in the chat so everyone can just head right over there.
Yeah, so I got Jeremy on the show tonight of NFLDraft.net. He's also on ESPN radio. He's coming on to talk New York Jets football, talking about some of the stuff we've done in free agency, what we should do potentially in the draft, what he thinks about this quarterback class and next quarterback class. Some very insightful stuff coming tonight on the Hangar Hangout, so definitely come check us out in about half an hour.
Gunny, appreciate you hopping on as always, my man. You got any final thoughts?
It's going to be a rough season, Jets fans. I don't think this season is going to be smooth. I don't think it's going to be as fun as we want it to be. I think it's going to be a season of growing pains. But again, I think that this is the kind of stuff you got to go through to establish a foundation. Can we have a Commanders type of season? I don't know. Maybe anything's possible. But I think that we need to prepare ourselves for a pretty turbulent season this year as we go ahead and potentially get our franchise guy next season and really start seeing this team turn things around 2026.
Appreciate you all tuning in. That'll do it for us. For Gunny, I'm Connor, signing off. JETS, Jets.